and welcome to Live with Sujay. And we're all the way live and in living color today. My guest today loves color. I love color. So this is the right show. Welcome to Headliners of Hope, people who are headliners on the East End. And today my special guest is Mariah
Dempsey.
Dempsey. Did I pronounce the Kalani right?
Yeah, Kaolani. Yeah.
Kaolani.
Mhm.
Does that have a meaning?
Yeah, it's where the heavens and the ocean meet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to use that word.
Uh-huh.
So you had some time in Hawaii, and now you're in East Hampton. Tell us about your background. How did you get from Hawaii and to here?
So I was born in Hawaii,
Okay.
in Kauai, and I lived there until I was about 7.
Yes.
And my grandfather lives in Bridgehampton.
Okay.
So I think my father was feeling the pull to come out here. And the education system wasn't going to be as good as out here. It was very like, I was like running around catching chickens and barefoot and super like with the animals and the nature there. So
I honeymooned in Kauai, a beautiful place, but your grandfather said, let's bring you to East Hampton.
Yeah, I think my dad wanted to connect the family back together.
Sure.
And then education, and then I think work-wise, and he just knew more people out here. He's familiar with it. So,
of course.
Yeah.
That's nice. And so you went to the public schools, East Hampton High School?
East Hampton High School, yeah.
Okay, where did you go from there?
I went to University of Texas in Austin.
In Austin, yeah, great creative place.
Yes, very creative, yeah.
And what did you major in?
Creative advertising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And so now you are described as a wellness creative. And tell us what that means.
So, well, to me, art and wellness are two of the same thread. So they're very entwined. And I think as you get more open spiritually, I feel like you get more open artistically. You get more connection, even with the divine, or just like insights or knowings or visuals. And I feel like it affects art. And then it's also healing to create art. So it's like self-fulfilling in that way, where you can express yourself freely, and there's just so many avenues with it, through the voice, through painting, through movement. So it's a very like all around holistic method. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sag Harbor and this East End is a wonderful place to kind of where nature and art and all of it comes together. So every morning I kind of go by the seaside to just kind of have the artistic beauty of the divine and just have my head kind of cleared out, because then I can create.
Yeah.
I can write, I can speak, all the things that I need to do.
You clear the head.
You really clear, for the space. So how did you get into this line of work?
It's been a long journey. I was influenced by roommates in college, with yoga, with meditation, and then I started like getting really hot healing hands. And so then I got into Reiki, and I lived with a shaman in Mexico for a long time.
Talk about that.
That was really cool. I pretty much like apprenticed with her.
Yes.
And then when I was there, I was also like helping watching her kid, her 4-year-old. So then I started working with children. And when I came back to the US, I started teaching children art. And so that started my children's art career.
Yes.
I worked at Ross for a year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you've been in cool spaces.
Really cool, open-minded wellness spaces.
And now you're doing some yoga as well with your artwork as well, correct?
Yeah. So I teach out, right now I'm teaching in Montauk Ohm once a week, but I occasionally do online, or I'll teach when I travel too sometimes. And
So do you do retreats as well? Because I do a retreat, and one of the best times is when you just kind of give people some crayons or some oils and start painting. The stress is so alleviated from that, And these are adults who are under pressure all the time, but I'm like, here, take these crayons. Right? Describe what you look like when you came here, and then draw what you look like as you're leaving. And it's like frayed, and then it's so calm.
Yeah. You just have to move it out.
Yeah. You have to move it out, definitely.
And like that's like the pause people need, like a breath work or breathing. It's just like you need the pause to just put it down, and then it's like a lot of clearing. It's like moving the energy. Yeah.
Exactly. In fact, my retreat's called Selah by the Sea, and Selah means to pause, to just stop,
Okay.
So one of our guests on Headliners of Hope was Christina Cuomo, the publisher of Purist.
Love that.
And I want to put the two of you together because you're both into the wellness, and particularly out here for those who are doing it. So I'm just excited about what you're doing because you're a young woman. So I always ask this question at the end, but I think it's important now.
Yeah.
I say A plus B plus C equals your success. what's your A and your B and your C?
Mm.
This is sort of like one of those formulas in algebra, but it's real life.
I would say my sensitivity
Okay.
and my resilience.
Ooh.
Because I feel like my sensitivity is what's led this path.
Yes.
My dad's a doctor out here,
Okay.
Dr. Dempsey, and
What kind
I'm
of doctor is he?
just general.
Okay,
But so much of the town knows him.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Mm-hmm.
And he's amazing at what he does, and I'm his like one client he can't diagnose. And I've gone to specialists with things and everything, and I'm just so sensitive
Yes.
that I never know if it's actually physical or not. So that led me a more holistic path. Because
Yes.
it might be like instead of going to the doctors for a tummy ache as a kid, maybe I just needed to go to an acupuncturist or something, or I need to like breathe or do yoga and move it because it would manifest very physically in me. And so like even recently I just had like a whole allergic reaction and everyone's like, you have alpha gal and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? And then literally my dad just got the lab results back. There's nothing.
Wow.
And it was like a pretty severe reaction.
Yeah. So you're a sensitive soul. You
Yeah.
kind of you magnetically pick up things.
So much. So that forced me to be like having to go the holistic path because I'm like, medical world's not working. Always double check with doctors, but like I have my dad, so like, but it's like it's always keeps pulling me back to like, nope, that was something else. Like nope. And so it's kind of funny like that. And then resilience, like I just keep going at it. I mean, I've been practicing the healing arts for like 10 years now. So and like practicing art and everything, and it's just like it's the best thing that works for me. So I think just resilience over time. And
so now resiliency usually means you're bouncing back from something.
Yeah.
What are you bouncing back from?
I think the world is hard as an artist. I think the job market's hard. I think living in your 20s is really hard coming out of university.
Now you considered a millennial, Gen Z?
I'm a millennial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think sticking on the same path is hard. Like I chose not to go corporate and then finding things that work for me and like doing really well in it.
Yes.
But that takes time. And that also
time.
takes self-belief and courage and effort. And that's resilience to me. It's like sticking with it. And there's many times where you detour and you're like, well, maybe. And so it's really good to like feel that it's all accumulating now.
Oh, that's awesome. Because I'm a spoken artist. My artistry comes through the voice and through the words. And like you said, there's not always everyone understands it at first.
Yeah.
But when you stick with it, then they're like, oh, you've got something there.
Yeah.
You're like, thank you. So you've had your artwork displayed even here at LTV.
I have.
Okay, where else has it been displayed out here on the East End?
I had a few of my own art shows. I'm going to have one coming up, but they're more private shows at houses. And I had a big, I did it with Open Mind Organics. I did it in their field. That was a really fun one. We had live music, art. So I'm really actually liking the collaborative play with art, less like formal galleries.
Yes.
And more like bringing in other artists. How does it interact with each other? And playing with the like very talented community out here because there's so much talent out here.
So much talent.
Yeah.
So much talent. What do you use? Oils? What do you prefer?
Mostly oils. I went down a little bit of acrylic, but my main medium since I was like 14 has been oils. Yeah. And now I'm doing pastels. I'm going to like a whole
I love pastels. They're just so beautiful and so fun. So tell us about this organic one you just did. Out here.
The organic.
You said you had an organic art show?
Oh, that was like 2 years ago. Yeah, that was like really cool. It was on a farm.
Okay.
I had like family members help me put all the pieces, like we tied them up to fences and we put them on like easels all around a yard so you'd walk around and see. There was like a band that came and played in the middle of the day. There was like kids that came out and like I had like my paintbrushes laid out like displayed on tables.
I love that. Yes, yes.
And the kids would come and they would start like recreating the movements on the pieces, which I thought was like so cool and super sweet.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I love like children interacting with art too, because that's like you're there to mentor and inspire them to believe in themselves.
Yes.
So seeing you and interacting with your work is actually like helping the next generation too.
So what about older adults like myself? How do you kind of get us into the art world if we need to kind of really de-stress and really appreciate, who we are at every season of our lives? What would you suggest?
Okay, so I would change it per person.
Okay.
So if your thing's the voice, it'd be more voice or prompts oriented in that direction,
Okay.
right?
Yes, yes.
Or maybe like it depends, especially what needs to be distressed, right?
Got
So
it.
like if your voice is feeling blocked, then it would be obviously that. But
Mhm.
sometimes it needs to move out in a different way.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think that's more of like my intuitive knowing on what to do with people and
Yes.
like how they get it out. And
Mhm.
like one of my gifts is really knowing what people are good at, like with children or anything. I'm
Yes.
like, they'd be good on drums, they'd be good at this.
Yes.
And I just like know that's like their main outlet.
Right.
So I love like helping people expand their gifts. Like they already know it, but
Yes.
then you talk about it and they're like, yeah, that's my thing.
And
then
help bring it out of
and it
them.
brings it out. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's one of my jams right
So
there.
you're kind of a coach as well as
Yeah.
a healer in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of label it as like intuitive consultant or creative
Intuitive consultant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's just like I just kind of know what's the next piece. I'm not telling your future.
Right.
You know, like I
Right.
don't think that's going to be helpful, but right now, what do you need to get through stress, get through things, or what do you need to really what's important for you to like convey right now as a message and the
Mhm.
best medium forward so that you can like get to the next steps, get
Right.
to where you want to be. Yeah.
Where are the spaces that are comfortable, particularly as you were growing up? You're a young woman now.
Mhm.
Where were the places that affirmed you and kind of said, you've got something and keep on doing it, as opposed to, saying, you really aren't a fit? Because some people want you to fit in this little box.
I
You
know.
never saw a box.
I always saw boxes. I
Yeah.
feel like it's really like I felt out here was a really harsh climate for artists. Like there's so much talent, but there's so much like you have to be in a certain place and
Uh-huh.
way and like judgments in it. And actually going to school in Austin was huge for me. That
Okay.
was super freeing for me.
Really? So how so?
I just felt like it wasn't that New York, like everyone wears black in the winter.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
super colorful. It was very be who you want to be.
Yes.
Then working with children and
Mhm.
like you have to practice what you preach. So if you're encouraging them,
Yes.
you have to actually be believing in yourself.
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
think that's where the resilience comes in is like I had to give it to myself. It
Mm.
wasn't coming like
Yeah.
like people believed in me, but maybe I wasn't receiving it, or
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't like they didn't have it in themselves. So they like were like, yeah, but it
But
wasn't
it
a
wasn't their
clear.
norm. It wasn't
It
their
wasn't
norm.
their norm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't anyone's fault. It
Mhm.
just was like it's been over and over again. Like you just got to do it. You
Yeah.
got to go that path. So
And they had South by Southwest out there, right?
yeah.
So is that a week-long festival where you can just do kind of a little bit of everything?
It's like 2 weeks or longer. I don't
Okay.
even know what it is now because
Yeah.
it's been like 10 years almost. Like
Did you participate though?
yeah,
It sounds like you would
the
be.
best.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, how do people find what you're doing currently? Whether you're going to have an art show or whether they want to get in contact with you to be an intuitive consultant, how do
Yeah.
they find you?
So mainly my Instagram's the best way to reach out. I post everything on there, and then I'll if you were to go on my website and give me your email, I will send out emails with it. But I think Instagram's gonna be the best, most fluid way because that's my main.
And what's your
communication.
handle?
It's Mariah Kailani, so it's my first name
And
and middle
spell
name.
that for them.
MariahKeolani.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's at Mariah Kalani.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's your website?
Right now, my website is mariahkdempsey.com, and I'm merging the Mariah Kailani and Mariah K. Dempsey. I was figuring out my branding for a
Okay.
while.
Yeah, and I mean, and several times you may have to go back to it and kind of rebrand. Like I'm rebranding for maybe the third time
So
because I'm
much.
in different seasons of my life. But out here has been so wonderful for my whole creative juices to flow.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going to kind of do the New York City thing again with this combined,
Okay.
the collaborative.
Yeah.
But this is my space when I need to just de-stress. I can physiologically feel my body shift when I'm coming
Really?
off of exit 70. I'm like, oh, I'm in my
Yeah.
free space again. So the show is called Headliners of Hope.
Yeah.
Now that you are who you are at this stage of life, what are you hopeful about for your career and other artists? And what are you hopeful about for America?
Oof.
Well, I know, those are two big ones. That could be another hour show, right? But what are you hopeful about for yourself?
I am focusing right now. I'm working with an extremely talented 13-year-old who I like love, and we have such a great connection. So I'm very hopeful for her and her career. And I'm also simultaneously working on my career. So I'm hopeful for these upcoming retreats that I have.
Yes.
I'm going to have an equine and art Kundalini yoga therapy retreat. So that's going to be in Costa Rica. So it's going to be horses, horse therapy, and like metaphysical healing with horses. You know, when they bring the horses over and heal you.
Yes.
It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be really magical. And
That
then
is cool.
art, like therapeutic art, and then it's gonna be Kundalini yoga every day. So we're gonna like open each other up with yoga. I'll probably bring my gong down too for like a little
Okay.
sound
With
bath.
a sign, yeah.
And
yeah.
then we'll like have a really incredible retreat. And so
I
I'm hoping to have more of those.
Okay.
And then working with my art and excelling my art career.
So do you create your retreats, or people invite you to retreats that they've created, or a combination?
I've been creating them.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you said something yoga. What was the first word? What kind of
Kundalini yoga.
So what's the difference between that? I don't even know that there were differences between yogas. What does that mean?
There's smile yoga.
Oh,
There's laughter yoga. Yeah, there's like 27 types of yoga. I don't
love
know.
it. Yes.
So Kundalini is different. It's a lot of breath work. There's mantras, there's meditations, and it's kind of like repetitive emotions using the breath.
Yes.
So it's very clearing. And I actually use it with like my students and stuff. And they'll be like, whoa, my whole head's clear after.
Wow.
So like the kids love it. And it's super like, for me, it's a really great way to reset yourself.
Oh, that's a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, on my retreats, I always ask them to bring an R word that you need in your life.
Okay.
And reset is really kind of the word that most people really need.
A reset, yeah.
A reset. Kind of like, I've got it together, but I need to be a little more together.
Yeah.
You know? And living in urban cities, particularly, which is where many of my folks come from, you need a reset. You need just a debrief, de-stress, reset, all of the above for the retreat. You have to get away from it. So a lot of people have been talking about staycations. Do you advocate those to staying in the same place, or do you advocate going somewhere for your retreat?
Right now, I'm advocating going somewhere, but I was considering, and since I haven't done it yet, but I was considering making mommy and me retreats, and I'm thinking about doing that for more summer because I've worked with children so much.
Yes.
And I would love to bridge mothers and kids together because I feel like, you know, there's ways to like create art together, do things, but also keep like separate and have the moms have their moment.
Yes.
So that would be more of like a staycation kind of retreat right now, just to start. And that would be more just giving them like, you know, a weekend away where it's just like the mother and child and they can have a time together and also still feel relaxed. So that's in the forward goals too. Yeah.
I like that. So it's back to school season. What would you recommend for now mothers and fathers who have to put their kids on a schedule, stay on their schedule, there's work, there's school? What are some things that are good? Are there breathing exercises you can recommend? What do they need to do to just make sure they stay chilled?
There's definitely a lot of different things you can do. I like, one of my favorites is box breathing, which essentially, so in Kundalini yoga, we talk about this. The only thing that controls your mind is your breath. So if you can control your breath, you can control your mind.
Yes.
And so what we have is box breathing, which is, we call it the minute-long breath. And you don't have to do it for a minute, but it's basically taking a minute to breathe.
Oh,
so it's, you can, but if you do it in the same intervals, like 10, 10, 10, or essentially building your way up to 20, 20, 20. So inhale for 20, hold for 20, exhale for 20. And you do that for like 11 minutes, or you can do 5.
Yes.
That will totally just like calm you and
so
like give you a sense. Breath. It's always in the breath. Yeah, it's all the breath.
It's amazing because during pregnancy, they have us with breathing. It's the Lamaze theory is breathe in twice. I remember it still because I had it twice, and then breathe out so that you, like the stress of what's happening in your body doesn't overtake you and overwhelm you. So it's in the breath.
Yeah, the breath controls your mind. Because your mind's, if you stop breathing, your mind's gonna be like, oh, we need to breathe, right? That's its first reaction. So if you can be like, no, I'm in control of this. It's like, whoa, okay, you know?
I love it.
Yeah.
So do you have siblings?
I do.
Okay, so what was it like?
I have a niece.
And you have a niece? Congratulations. But what was it like raising you in a traditional family, and you're an intuitive, sensitive, holistic child? I mean, kind of like, what was it like growing up?
So my brother and I are super opposite.
Okay.
Like he's like same, like married to the same woman since high school. 10-year path of like marriage, has a kid, been on the same job for 8 years. And then I'm like, I've been way more free spirited. I
Yeah.
always have been.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my parents love that. But I also think I was often like misunderstood,
Sure.
and I didn't
Sure.
even understand when I was misunderstood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's things like I probably like, I'm like reflecting on things. I'm like, I totally had ADHD. And like, but I wouldn't realize it. And then now I'm like going back like when I played volleyball and I would like be super into it and then like disappear,
Yeah. Yeah.
And like
yeah.
my coach would get frustrated, but no one like knew. So there's just things I like reflect on where I'm like, oh, people didn't know and they didn't know how to handle or understand
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't so much that I couldn't do school. Like I did really well, but it was just like I was very floaty in ways. And
You needed a different approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not everybody fits in the square.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can't put a round peg into us. I mean, it's just like now they say you're different, that you were different, but it's a good difference because it's you. It's the you were created to be,
I know, yeah.
which is wonderful.
And I see like, so my niece is like 1, and then she has like, her mother's a twin, and they had a baby a month before, and they're totally different. Like totally, one just frowns a lot, and then the other smiles all the time. One's like fully walking and like grooving, and the other's like not there. One's like starting to use word like, and I'm like, it's just so clear. Like it's not even like advancements. It's also just like they're just such different people.
Yeah, exactly.
And you let kids be. You're like, okay, they're just in their thing, right? But like, why are we boxing in adults or even kids at a certain age to be a certain way when it's so clear at a young age we're just different. We have a different agenda.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have you at one of my retreats. I'm just thinking about. Have you found that one of my shows is Black Women Leaders? Have you found culturally working with different groups that you have to do different because there are different stressors in life? And so, have you had experience with diversity? That's a rough word. Now.
Yeah, I really have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like. Okay, let's see like this. I have had experience of diversity. Like actually, my Kundalini yoga class was mostly Black, taught by a Black woman in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I love her and like totally respect her. And I really like was in because we talked about appropriate. We talked about everything.
Right,
there.
and you were in an urban environment.
In a very urban environment, Crown Heights.
Yeah. Oh, very.
I actually lived there for a little bit.
Okay.
So like I've definitely been exposed. Obviously, there's only so much you can speak.
Right.
Yeah,
of course.
There's more in listening and understanding.
But because you're a sensitive soul, you can be sensitive to everyone's needs, that irrespective of where they come from, which is so cool.
Yeah.
What are you hopeful as a millennial?
Okay.
Millennial. What are you hopeful
America?
about for America?
Okay. I'm hoping there's more understanding. I'm hoping people listen more. There's more compassion. I think so much is happening when people assume they know more than the other person. And if you don't listen to like why someone has that opinion or that thought and you're blocking it off, then you're going to create like stress and arguments. And I feel like that's so much with like political divides and everything. It's because we're not really listening to why they have that opinion. We're just deeming, oh, they're not where I'm at.
Exactly.
And they're not smart. And so to really have conversations, we have to really open our ears and our minds to see at least some level of where things are coming from.
Can we find common ground in your opinion?
With openness.
Yeah.
I really do think we can.
Is there room for your voice in America? Do you find millennials have a chance to be at the table where people are listening?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think with more compassion and support, and like also like at the end of the day, we're like my dad's a doctor, so it's like he supports anyone that comes in the office. We're still human. If you have a cut on your leg, if you have some issue, like it's not even a gender thing. It's not a race thing. It's like helping someone.
Exactly.
And I think that's the main mission is like, how can we help each other? And so if people have more of that perception of like, we all have to survive.
Yes.
We all need like basic income. We all need basic like housing. We all need basic like medical support.
Yes.
How can we support that for our country and our people so that we can even get on the level where we can have conversation?
I love it.
My
oldest son just became an internal medicine doctor.
Oh, wow.
And the bottom line is the patients like bedside manner.
Mm.
That's what, because they want to put him on the schedule, like you only have 3 minutes, and the patients are like, we like Dr. Cook because of his bedside manner.
Aw.
So what America needs now is some bedside manner, to spend some time listening.
Yeah.
Like you said, a patient is still a patient. If they get a cut, everybody bleeds the same.
Yes.
So it's time for us to have some hope in America.
Yeah.
But you bring me hope here.
Aw,
We're so
thank
excited
you.
for you. We hope LTV has your works again. And when you're doing some things in Sag Harbor, East Hampton, or Southampton, out here on the East End, we want to know what they are. But I'm certainly going to try to hook you up with Christina Cuomo. I'm going to make sure
Thank you.
Purist knows about you. But also, I want to have you on my retreats. And again, give us your website so people know where to find you right now, or your social media handle.
Yeah. Okay.
Is?
Oh, Mariah Keolani. So MariahKeolani.
And Kalani means?
Keolani is where the heavens and the ocean meet, so the horizon.
Oh, and I'm so glad that we met today, because I just feel like the ocean and the waves, I feel it just kind of flowing. You're a major, major, major force to be reckoned with. We are so thankful to have you. Hope you'll come back again for Live with Sujay. And we thank you for being with us with Live with Sujay, Headliners of Hope. Today, our guest was Mariah Keolani, Dempsey. Keolani, where the heavens and the oceans meet.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You're good.
I got it. Good. So our local artist who's done well, and we just appreciate your sharing with us. Stay tuned for more of Live with Sujay as we come back to you. Take care. And thank you to my wonderful production team. You've been awesome.